Just like what happened in 2008, 2009, I'm the oldest guy on the table, so I know exactly what happened there.
Obviously,
These
no, I'm
guys
just
were,
kidding.
were drinking and
I
partying
was in
up all
diapers.
day.
I don't know about you.
Nice try.
I was in high school.
But yeah, the biggest issue there was lack of perspective. Right?
Yeah.
Now, lack of
That's happening
perspective
again.
happens two different ways, right? Not getting the right information.
Right.
And that did happen a lot. No different than what's taking place out there. The second thing is people just not paying attention. How do you
Me,
help?
808. Hello.
All right. So what's
Yeah.
different now, though?
I got burnt. My wife got laid off. I lost my house, Like all of these different things were happening. So I'm like, I don't want to go through this again. We experienced an incredible amount of pain. And so we said, we got to do things differently. So we decided to pay attention to. So people learn because they were looking for something or because they don't want to go through the same thing again.
Also, I would say something that really helped is being around people that have the conversation. To be
That's
honest,
true.
because sometimes when you're in a specific environment, the conversation never comes up, it never arises. So really, your brain is not being challenged in that way on a daily
You're
basis.
just not thinking about it.
Right, yeah, you're kind of like living in like a little clouded area where
Bubble,
it's like,
pretty much.
right, you wake up, you go to work, you come home, you pay your bills. Like, it's just that everyday routine. There's no prepping, there's no insight. And so I think also too, your environment and the exposure that you allow yourself to have, be around people that are not afraid to have this conversation, be around people that maybe they're saying something that is scary to you. Oh well, they're talking about people losing jobs and the economy going down, and some people are like, no, stop, I don't want to talk about this, I'm out. Be the person that sits there and says, okay, well, what are my options? Like, they're saying to save money, but I barely have money to make ends meet because inflation is like through the roof and ridiculous right now. And so really challenge yourself to live in that moment of like fear and being around people. I think that has really helped even your process,
Yeah.
opened up your eyes so much, like, wait a second, hold up, like,
I gotta
this is
pay
a mess,
attention.
right?
Yeah.
It's so funny. It's amazing though when you do get to that point, because you're like, how did I ever live outside of
Right.
this, right? Like, what
Yeah.
kind of life was I living before in the dark?
Yeah.
And I think too many people, like, something that has helped me is challenging, like being around people, listening to podcasts. The news outlets, they get a paper, they read off a prompt. These people don't care what they're reading. It's not your everyday person. We're everyday people that are sitting down and living that life.
Even the training that we provide to our associates here. You know what I
Right.
mean, as I said, for me, my recommendation to everyone is the first thing is that you do have to make an effort to
Right.
try to understand what's going on. You got to look for some kind of information, right?
Yes.
And let's assume that maybe the first bulk of information that you're going to run into may not be accurate, may not be something that would be extremely useful. So grab whatever you can grab and then say, okay, what is the opposite of this? Who's saying the opposite? Because I'll be honest with you, that's how I learned as I was growing and getting older, right? To really truly process information, right? So I was looking at something, this felt right, I liked it, I think it was a great position, and I said, what is the opposite of this?
How do I know that I'm right?
How do I know that I'm right, right? And then, by the way, at the end of the day, you're also gonna develop your own position, right?
Yeah.
And the funny thing about that is, doesn't matter how wrong you are,
Right.
it's your
You're
position,
right.
right?
Right.
So you gotta learn to say, okay, this is what I like, this is what I believe, I'm gonna stick to this. So I need to learn a little more about it. You know what I mean? And,
Right.
and that's what I'm suggesting for everybody to do on terms of this conversation. Because I think that my biggest concern right now, though, is that to me, 2022 was like 2007. It was like a weird economy. People are still making some money, not fully laid off. And just like that, you started to see people getting laid off, right? And
Right.
now 2023 is potentially that 2008. Now we'll see, right? Because people have been predicted this collapse for a couple of years now.
Also, too, I think something that has like really led people in that direction, like something is happening, is inflation being what it is.
Can't
It has
ignore it.
really, I think, honestly, has
Yeah.
been like the most harmful part of the whole process. The cost of living, inflation has really affected every industry. And so I think
Lending
Real estate, yeah, all
goods
of
and
that.
products. Every
Right.
single industry and market has been affected.
Exactly, and I think now it's a more believable conversation for people. I think last year around this time in late 2020 or 2021 actually, like it wasn't yet there, so people were like, all right, you guys stop, like there's nothing that's gonna happen.
No.
We're living
So
the
when you-
life right
Scaring
now,
people
right?
that, yeah.
When your
Exactly.
shopping cart is shrinking with the same amount of money, there's a problem.
Right, exactly.
You can't ignore that, though.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
that's
Yeah.
the thing, right?
Yeah.